These are the average flight prices when Spirit flew a route. And these are the prices of those same routes after Spirit stopped flying them. All of the fares went up, some by more than $100.
Now with all of Spirit's routes gone, imagine how much fares are going to rise in the US.
For 34 years, Spirit Airlines sold fares as cheap as $39 to Florida and Chicago. At its peak in the mid-2010s, it was the largest low-cost carrier in North America, employing 17,000 people. It was the Spirit effect. Its rock-bottom fares pushed ticket prices down across the industry. But in May 2026, Spirit shuttered all operations. 9,000 flights were canceled, and employees were left scrambling with little information.
Your flight has now been canceled.
Now we have 175 Ohioans really pissed,
So how did Spirit become a low-cost giant? What happened to the airline? And what does all of this mean for passengers and crews? Spirit Airlines started out in 1964 as a trucking company, moving car parts in Michigan. In 1983, Ned Homefeld launched the company's first passenger airline in Detroit, calling it Charter One. It focused on gambling trips with routes to Atlantic City, New Jersey, and later to warmer gambling routes in Florida and Vegas. In 1992, it finally became Spirit Airlines, adding 4 DC-9 jets to its fleet. Spirit was small, but it gained early momentum with cheap fares. In 1993, it flew more than 250,000 passengers and generated $21 million in revenue.
You have to understand that flying didn't start out as a thing for the masses. Southwest pioneered the low-cost model back in the 1970s and unlocked travel for so many people, and then decades later, Spirit took it to another level.
In 2004, Spirit adopted an ultra-low-cost business model, which meant you got a personal item and an unassigned seat, and that's it. Everything else was extra. Snacks, legroom, baggage, printing your boarding pass, even water. And that was all extra cash in Spirit's pocket. CEO Ben Baldanza took over in 2006 and leaned even further into the airline's low-cost branding. He made the seats thinner and packed more passengers onto the airplane. And he also endorsed the brand's controversial ads. Like this one, after the Deep Horizon oil spill in 2010. Or this ad, a tongue-in-cheek reference to people's interest in older women.
The controversial ads, they had shock value. They weren't going after high-class travelers, they were going after gamblers and spring breakers. These ads worked for their working-class audience.
At its peak in the mid-2010s, Spirit Airlines had 200 planes and was valued at $6 billion. It had among the best safety records, with no fatal crashes in its entire history. At one point, it was rated second in timeliness. People love to hate on Spirit's nickel and diming, but it had a big influence on the industry.
There was such a big appetite for low fares in the United States that America's biggest airlines felt threatened by Spirit.
In the 2010s, Delta and American, much bigger and older airlines, started adding super cheap basic economy fares to compete with Spirit. But soon, the cheapskate identity that had led to Spirit's early success weighed it down. Everything started to unravel after the pandemic. First, labor costs soared amid a pilot shortage.
And post-COVID, travelers were increasingly more willing to pay for premium experiences, and Spirit just couldn't offer that.
Business travelers wanted first-class seats and access to airport lounges. The average flyer now wanted free carry-ons, more legroom, and seatback screens included in the ticket price. Now, Spirit did try to adapt. It added extra legroom and refreshed Big Front Seat, its version of first class. It bundled fares to simplify add-ons like seat selection and baggage. But despite its efforts, it couldn't shake the low-cost identity it had spent so many years building.
They were essentially a Waffle House trying to be a Michelin star restaurant. They weren't built for the clientele that largely goes to Delta United.
Then, among economic uncertainty and inflation, demand for domestic travel began to slow. Spirit's normal price-sensitive customers were spending less on travel. People who could afford to travel shifted internationally, especially to Europe. That was good for carriers like Delta that offered long-haul business class. Those seats cost thousands of dollars and make up a majority of a flight's revenue.
But Spirit just didn't have those routes, and so it couldn't capture that premium revenue.
In 4 years, the airline lost $2.5 billion. In 2022, JetBlue tried to buy Spirit Airlines. But 2 years later, a federal judge blocked the deal, ruling it violated antitrust laws. So in November 2024, Spirit Airlines went bankrupt. It did unload debt, coming out with a much cleaner balance sheet. But right after, it faced soaring jet fuel prices and high aircraft lease costs. So in August 2025, with over $8 billion in debt, it declared bankruptcy again.
Spirit slashed routes, shrank its network, sold planes, and cut its staff just to stay afloat.
Spirit flew 500,000 fewer travelers in February 2026 compared to the year before. In a final Hail Mary, Spirit Airlines was in talks with the Trump administration about a $500 million bailout package.
We're thinking about doing it, helping them out, and meaning bailing them out or buying it. I think we just buy it.
Trump wanted to use Spirit's planes to move military and cargo troops. His proposal would have basically given the government control over Spirit.
But the government couldn't find the funding and the talks stalled. On May 2nd, 2026, Spirit Airlines closed completely.
Spirit Airlines is going out of business.
Flights were canceled overnight. Thousands of people were stranded, and 1.8 million summer travelers were affected.
Your flight has now been canceled.
Currently stuck in the Orlando airport, trying to get home. Now we have 175 Ohioans really pissed, so. This is the line, and they're rebooking you on flights for tomorrow that will not take place because the company will not exist tomorrow. And this is the chaos that is left over.
Spirit has kept funds on hand in case this happened, so it is refunding everyone who booked directly with the airline. But what does all of this mean for the airline industry going forward? Well, for one, passengers can expect flight prices to go up.
I've heard a lot of chatter online from folks saying that Spirit's route closures won't affect them, but even if you fly at the highest levels, it will affect you because Spirit was the pressure point that kept fares low.
Senior aviation reporter Taylor Rains found that in most cases, when Spirit Airlines left a route, flight prices went up on average by 14%.
Budget and price-sensitive customers, they can still book with Allegiant or Frontier. There's also Avelo and Breeze. These are low-cost carriers. But without Spirit, there are just fewer options.
This comes at a time when ultra-luxury cabins are overtaking budget ones.
Rich people, they aren't as affected by the economic downturn that has been affecting most people's wallets, including mine. So even if gas is $5 a gallon, the millionaires are still going to fly.
Taylor says we can expect to see more investment on international long-haul flights from U.S. airlines.
This is already happening. United and Delta, even American, they've all rolled out brand new business class cabins with doors, all the bells and whistles to try to attract that premium demand, really doubling down. And that's where Spirit just couldn't keep up. It didn't have that product to match, and that's what the people wanted.
But while travelers might have to shell out a little more for a plane ticket, Spirit Airlines employees will face the worst financial stress.
These people have already set their ways into their finances. They're already set their budget. And now their lifestyle is going to change.
Yanisha Thomas was at home in Central Florida when she got an email at 12:30 a.m. on Saturday saying Spirit was shutting down.
Basically, it just felt like a breakup. It felt like me being in a relationship and my boyfriend was cheating on me. And basically, I was the only one that didn't know about it.
Yanisha has been with Spirit for 4 years.
It's like a family, or it's your home, and now your home is burnt down and you have to start from the ground. These people have not been into an interview in years.
And working for a new airline might mean starting from the bottom.
I do go ahead and say, okay, I'm going to try and get a job with United. I still have to go to the training, which is 4 weeks. Some of the training are not paid. I have to learn a whole entire new plane. That is why everyone is crying.
Spirit's loss is more than an airplane seat. It's the entire towns in Florida where Spirit was largely the only way to get there. So all of the communities, employees that were in that town that supported the operation, that's all gone.
You pay for what you want. It might not work for everyone, fine. But we are here for the people that need us. I know now a lot of people need us.
In the wake of the Spirit announcement, a TikTok video went viral, hoping to save the airline.
Okay, I had a genius idea. Spirit Airlines just went bankrupt, right? We could buy Spirit Airlines.
In just a few days, pledges have topped over $130 million. Now the movement is backed by Spirit Airlines Union.
We've got your back too, so by all means.
I don't believe we're dead because the people are keeping us alive.
I love the effort, and I agree that Spirit is worth saving strictly for the competition that keeps fares low, but it was heavily in debt. There are a lot of regulations, rest rules, there's so much to running an airline that I think it may be a little more complicated than just a lot of commitments to funding this airline.
All of this raises the question, what's the future of budget airlines in the US? If the largest can't survive, who can?
With soaring jet fuel prices due to the conflict in Iran, budget carriers are being hit really, really hard. Spirit even said in its recent hearings after its closure that that was kind of the nail in the coffin. And Spirit, unlike legacy carriers, doesn't have these premium high-dollar business and first-class cabins to fall back on. But do I think other budget carriers like Frontier or Allegiant will fall tomorrow? No, but I do think they have a tough road ahead of them.
In fact, Frontier's stock rose after the Spirit announcement, and JetBlue announced $99 fares to Florida.
I think there will always be some need for some airline out there to offer budget seats. It may just be more expensive.